Hi, this is Mark from Altcoin Buzz, and today we're going to take a look at Bitcoin on the USD chart. We're also going to take a look at CoinGecko.com, where we do some of our research on coins. And I want to look at some things with you to show you some of the stuff that you might want to avoid or consider as you're looking for that next big coin out there. Here we are on the Bitcoin USD 8-hour chart, and we had that break from the bear flag that was forming on the lower time frames before. And now we're forming a wedge on a higher time frame. We had a nice break up. We have resistance now on that 8-hour time frame on the Bollinger Bands at about 65.50, and we're looking at support to hold at that 63.30, right in that range. We could find support in between that 63.30 and 64.50, where the point of control is established on the lower time frames from a VPVR standpoint. That's our volume by price, not our total volume, but our volume by price. $6,800 could be a logical area for a rejection based upon the past trends. And we're looking at a 382 on the Fibonacci right now, and that comes in at about $6,800. So if we take a look at the Fibonacci this way, you can see how that would make sense based upon the history that we had before. If we go back a couple weeks ago, hit our head right there at the 382. We talked about this before. I'm just illustrating it once again in case you haven't seen the videos. But that was where our last run up stalled. If we go back and look at the end of July, that's when our last run-up stalled again, and that was at the 382. And then again back in May, basically about the same place at the 382. So if we were using our descending triangle as kind of the timing when we're going to hit that resistance, we'd actually be looking at kind of, next month sometime. So we could be trading sideways for a little bit before we hit that 382 and hit that descending triangle resistance line that we have going on. If we look at the indicators on the one-day chart, on the lower time frame, some of our indicators and oscillators are really getting to the peak and starting to show that we're slowing down on this momentum that was looking pretty positive over the last day and a half or so. So we look at the 1 day on some of our indicators. We're looking to see if that stochastic RSI is going to stall out at the 20 or 32. That becomes our resistance. That could easily indicate that $6,800 is going to be our top. We're looking to see if the RSI can find support here at the 45. And on our Klinger oscillator, which is the balance of the volume on the positive and the negative volume, we want to find support above our moving average where we're at right now and above zero. And we're right at that threshold. So a lot of the indicators are slowing down for us. And without the volume to get some momentum behind this movement, we're really not looking pretty. So on our 1 day Ichimoku cloud, again, that resistance looking like it's settling in at the $6,800 level at the 21-day moving average on the cloud in the future and in the past. That is another potential confluence piece for us that the $6,800 could be the top or a very strong resistance area for us if we continue that bull play to the upside. Oh, what am I looking at overall? I'm looking to see how many fundamentals are out there starting to push us into that $6,800 range. And how close does that get to the announcement that is supposed to be coming out in the next week or so on the ETF? Understanding the way the United States works and our government works, that ETF will most likely be postponed one more time or delayed. So if that delay does happen, we've seen what happens to the price. We will go to the downside. If we hit that $6,800 and reject the $6,800 and are moving towards the $6,000 when that happens, then a break of that baseline of $6,000 is a real potential. Okay, so let's take a look at how to avoid or what to look at as you're looking at new coins that you may want to get invested in and not falling into a trap. We're on CoinGecko.com right now. Look at that market cap, $205 billion. We're at $750 billion, almost $1 trillion last year. So a lot of people will go to the what's trending, right, to try and find those next big coins. So if we're in CoinGecko.com and we're looking at the top gainers on the trends right now, and we look at Champ Coin, 87%, 88% up, right, in the last 24 hours. A pretty, cheap coin. Gosh, could this be the next Mooner? Could we make a lot of money off this coin? You potentially could, but look at the volume. It's $83,000 in volume, and that's a low volume coin. This is going to be a volatile coin, and if not a volatile coin, there's going to be very little liquidity. You need that liquidity to be able to sell it once you buy it, right? So when you're looking at coins, one of the things you want to consider is the volume. You need to have volume behind that coin so that when you go to sell it, when you want to take your profits, you're going to be able to do that. Now, one of the things on CoinGecko.com that I really like is they also do a metrics and evaluation. So this is kind of the summary page on the coin. You can look at the charts, you can look at the all-time highs and all that. It gives you some great summary information in one place. One of the other things that they do is they'll give you a complete metric score, and that is what kind of trading activity is going on, how much liquidity is there, what kind of development's going on in the GitHub, how much social interaction do they have. You need to have that social interaction, right? If people don't know about the coin, how's that price going to go up? And here, the total metrics on this coin is only 19%. So you compare that with the low volume, and this is probably not a coin you want to jump into right now. At least I would. So let's look at another one. There's Playcoin. Playcoin has some decent volume, right? It's got $5 million of volume, so that's decent volume. It's still a relatively low price coin at 27 cents. It's jumped up 58% in the last 24 hours. I mean, look at that chart. It was at 17 cents and it jumped up to 27 cents in a very short time frame. Basically 2 hours that jumped up. Okay, so now let me go check out the metrics on this coin. How's it looking overall? I mean, according to CoinGecko.com, they do the research for me, right? It's got some decent liquidity because it's got some volume behind it, but there's nothing being done on the development side. There's no community interaction either, and it's lower than the other coin at 12%. That's going to make me question this coin now. So I'm going to do some other research on it. What made this coin jump? Is there any news out there that I can find that justifies this kind of jump in price? And so as I'm doing my research, the only thing I can find is this article on fans invited to play coin rugby with the All Blacks, and they're giving away some merchandise and some other things. Came out today. This is when all the action happened on the coin. Are there enough rugby fans out there and enough rugby fans that are into crypto to facilitate this kind of price action? Well, now I can make the decision based upon the information, right? I've done a little bit more research now. I can also think about whether this can be sustained after this event's over, and whether or not I want to jump into this coin. So my point being, don't just go onto a site, look at what's moving, what's jumping, and decide that that's the coin that you want to get into. Because one, it may be a coin that isn't necessarily in a pump and dump, but you may not be able to get rid of when you want to take some profit. Or two, it could be a pump and dump where some people that get together, if you don't know what a pump and dump is, get together, purposely drive up the price of a coin so that you or I or somebody else that is unknowledgeable or unsuspecting gets caught up into that price action, and then they dump that coin, taking their profits and leaving us with a bag. So there you have it. We're wrapping it up today. Hopefully this was helpful to you. Don't forget to join us on Altcoin Buzz.io, where you can find all kinds of great fundamental news that's going on out there by some of our great writers. Make sure you subscribe and like. Also hit that bell so that you're alerted when these videos pop up. Follow us on all the social media, and you can get to that on Altcoin Buzz.io as well. And until next time, may all your trades be good ones.